Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017. Welcome back to Maplewood Farm. And if you look in the HUD in the top right of the screen, you'll see that it's the first day of summer. So we did skip ahead about 6 days, I think, 5 days. And we are down at, I guess, I'm thinking of it as our part of the map. We're down there in sort of the horn of the map where we own all those fields. We own a bunch of grass fields, and we're going to do some grass work. We're going to get that going. So, first thing that I did want to tell you is the map has obviously greened up. We are into summer. It greened up in the spring, but then it really greened up in the summer. So, with seasons, light green in the spring, dark green in the summer. There's little plants and flowers and buds everywhere. Our crops are growing. We're also taking a bit of a beating on frame rate. So I may need to make some adjustments to texture and various other things. We were at 60 to 61. I mean, we're capped at 60 theoretically, but we would knock on 61 sometimes early in the game, except possibly in the yard when we had all the equipment together. I've seen it drop down as low as the mid-20s since everything greened up. So we will sort that out. I will sort that out. But in the meantime, we're looking pretty good. So this is what we've got down here. We've got our 7R, one of our 7Rs, with round bale forks. What would you call those? Blades, forks, tines, tongs, whatever they are. We're going to pick up some round bales today, and then we've got our new smaller trailer. We've also got, oh yeah, load those textures. Come on. Give it. There it is. Jesus. Okay. I made some adjustments to the graphics quality, and I haven't had time to walk around the map and reload everything. I did that just before we went live, so it is going to load textures periodically, as it just did. We have one of our 6Rs, and we rented this little McHale baler. Now, it has nothing to do with McHale, the company, but I think this mod may be a little buggy. I can't remember, but I feel like I've used this before and it was a little buggy. This does have a wrapper in it. It's got a wrapper in it, and we're going to be making silage bales to start. I've got a rake also. This is our big Pottinger rake behind our other 6R. And then, of course, we've got our mowers right here. Yeah, you see me turning. I'm going to keep it a surprise there. Yeah, I'm going to keep it a surprise. We've got our mowers on the other 7R. And then this is, we rented this. Or, you know what? Let's role play a little bit. This is our neighbor, Cedric. He came over to help us out. And we've got our forage wagon as well. I don't know if we're going to use this. And let me tell you, well, let me get started. And let me tell you why we're going to start with silage bales. So our animals are growing and reproducing and making milk and making poop and making wool. And it's fantastic. But, pardon me, I just remembered I need to mute my phone. And I did. So we'll turn those off. Here we go. It's going to take a couple days for our silage bales to cook, right? They'll just be grass bales in the field momentarily. And then they will ferment into silage bales. We're going to need them because we're feeding our cows right now. We are feeding our cows food that we're buying. It's not terribly expensive. The cows are sort of paying for themselves because we're getting about $4,000 a day, 4,000 pounds a day in milk. So it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to start right back. No, that wouldn't be right, because if I ran the mowers over the edge of this, I believe it's spelt. If I ran the mowers over that spelt, it would tear it up a little bit. So we'll do it right. So we'll unfold these. We'll unfold these. Now, I had a question, like episode 2 maybe, one of our first episodes, about the gates on these mowers, the butterfly mowers on the back. Could you raise the gates to have a wide spread of grass? And then I realized it may just by default, whether they are visually open or closed, it may just by default spread wide. So I think maybe I was looking for a solution to a problem that didn't even exist. Right. So we're going to fire those up. Spool up the RPM. We're going to fire those up. All right. No. I keep lurching forward every time I do this. There we go. Back. There you go. Let's get some cruise control going. I say about 6 miles an hour. Yeah, 6 miles an hour. And sure enough, we do have a wide spread. Now, with us making silage bales, that's not the most convenient thing. And this 6R, it's a gorgeous tractor, man, but it does have that artifact that it leaves on screen. Yep. Okay. So, with us making silage bales, I'll get that little area. With us making silage bales, I would prefer if we had a row. If these were the kinds of mowers that made a row. But you know what? You can't always get everything you want in this life. Now this is public grass. This is meadow grass, and we were not able to fertilize it. We do own several fields, but they are also meadow grass for the most part, except for one relatively small one that is crop grass, and we did fertilize that. But I didn't get really too fired up about it because it's such a small field compared to the total volume of grass. Doubling the volume that we get out of that field, I don't want to say it would be meaningless, but it would be almost somewhat meaningless because by percentage, it's such a small part of all the grass that we're going to harvest today. So, oh dear. Okay. I'll be more careful over there next time. Watch myself by the sea cliff. So, now the other thing we can do is the fields. I wouldn't do it to this field because this is a public field and I'm trying to play realistically, but we did buy grass fields that are meadow grass. Now I can take our ripper in there and rip those into soil and then plant crop grass on them, and that would allow us to fertilize it next spring or even later this season if we chose to. So because there's sort of a decent volume of that meadow grass that we own, that may be worth it. We'll have to think about that. And I'm also getting not quite vertigo, but we're right on top of this sea cliff here. This is something else. Right, what else is going on? I had a question about this map. I had several questions, so I went to the mod hub to take a look at the specs and information for it, and sure enough, it's not up on mod hub anymore. So then I checked on FS UK, and I found a comment from Lancyboi. He said there were some corrections or updates or something that Giants wanted him to make, so it has temporarily been taken down, and it will be back up. So if you're looking for it, and you know what, I don't really like to speculate too much about other people's business, but if you want to go to FS UK, just whatever search engine you use, type in FS UK Maplewood, and you'll find the thread on FS UK, and you can read the comment yourself from Lancyboi. But as far as I understand it, at the moment, it looks like there's just some things that Giants wants him to tighten up, so it's gone away for a minute. The question I had was, did he put in the meadow, the living grass function in the cow pasture and the sheep pasture? And the way that works, basically, if you're not familiar with it, it's a mod, and what it does is if there's if there's grass growing, meadow grass growing in the pasture, it will include that as something in the trough, right? So it will, and this isn't super realistic, but I'm gonna try to neaten this up a little bit and get just this other little bit here. Every little bit helps. So essentially, if you've got grass growing in the pasture, it will register as being in the trough. And that's something that is sort of tricky for me. It's one of the reasons that I brought down the loading wagon. It's really tough to keep grass in the cow trough. You can feed sheep hay, and you can make hay bales and put those up in a barn. But with seasons, grass really doesn't keep very long. And I mean, I've lost tons of grass, literally tons and tons of grass that I had undercover in a shed. It didn't rain, it just rotted overnight. So I feel like that's something that, I understand the concept that Seasons is going for, which is that grass doesn't keep, it does rot. Hay will keep, not indefinitely, but it'll keep for a while. The grass will rot, I get that, but I don't know that it will rot overnight. And the problem is that overnight in this game can represent sometimes even a couple of weeks. So you see what I'm getting at. That mod, to me, makes it a lot easier to keep grass in the cows. I don't know if Lancyboi has included it here, and honestly, I've never really worked with it before. So I don't know, does it just keep a minimum of grass in there? Does it keep it topped up? I don't know. But I was not able to get an answer to that question because the mod has temporarily come down off the mod hub. Now the other thing is there is a cistern system in the yard at the main farm. And I remember last episode mentioning a map called Hofbergman that has what I think of as active cisterns. So when it rains, they get water in them. Now they're big concrete tanks meant to, I guess, represent sort of catch basins, whereas the cistern at our map right now, at our main farm, is kind of a closed tank. So while I was accelerating time to get to the first day of summer, at one point I was standing in the yard when it started to rain, and sure enough, that cistern collects water from rain. So I had said, I'm sure there's somewhere on this map with all the streams and ponds, surely there is somewhere to get free water. And I also said I could not find water at the main farm. Well, that's where it is. When it rains, that cistern fills. So I had gone to the pig farm and bought water from the hydrant and hauled it to the main farm to fill that cistern, which you can do. And I suppose you could do that if it didn't rain for a while. But when it rains, it does collect water. So that's what's going on as far as learning the map. I'm still learning the hydrant system. At the pig farm, you can turn it on. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with it yet, because I can turn it on and I can see water spray into the trough, but it's like it doesn't quite fill it. And then there are other times when I can't do that. So I don't know, it may need to be below a certain threshold. I'm learning, but I'm keeping the animals fed and watered, and their health is good and they're extremely productive. So that is awesome. And I'm trying to think what else. I'm getting ready for a hurricane. We've got a hurricane coming in probably 2 or 3 days, and it will most likely be downgraded to a tropical storm by the time it hits me. It looks like it's going to have a direct hit on the town that I'm in, but it should be a tropical storm by the time it gets here. What that will mean, though, is a lot of wind and a lot of rain, so there will be a lot of trees down and power will go out. So I'm trying to record these early. This will post on Tuesday. I'm recording it on Sunday. I've already recorded my videos for Wednesday, and because Thursday is Farm Sim Day as well, as soon as I'm done with this, I'll record a couple more Farm Sim videos. I'm going to get everything rendered and posted, and then I'll just make it public as the days go by. So I won't spam you. I'll just try to make the videos public as they would be were there not a hurricane coming in. So, and it as far inland as I am, it's just going to be basically a really, really, really bad thunderstorm that will last for about 18 hours. So fortunately, I'm not up by the coast, and it may still turn. Not likely, but it may still turn at the coast. I'm also watching out of the corner of my eye. I'm watching Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm from Pittsburgh. Steelers are my team from way back, and it's first game of the season, first regular season game of the season. They're playing in Cleveland. If you know about Pittsburgh and Cleveland, not even the teams, just Pittsburgh and Cleveland, like the way those two cities get along, it's always a big game. Cleveland has not won in 600 days, I think they just showed a graphic. They are in overtime, and Pittsburgh is about to kick. And I want to say Cleveland started the overtime with possession, so if they score here, they win. And wide left. Laces out, Dan. Okay, so we will continue to play. Overtime continues. Oh, very exciting. I don't know how you feel about grass work. I like it. I find it very relaxing. And I'm not going to rake the entire field. So what I'll do is mow up a storm here. And then I will just rake a little bit, and then we'll just bale a little bit and confirm that McHale baler is doing what we need it to. And then I'll probably end the episode there. Now, we have a ton of grass work to do. So next episode, what I will most likely do is mow off camera, right? And then when we come in, we'll either be tedding to make hay bales, or picking up with the forage wagon to take to the clamps at the BGA. I don't know. We'll try to mix it up a little bit. So this episode is going to be a lot of mowing, a little bit of baling. Next episode will be really no mowing and a lot of other stuff. And you'll also have to let me know how you feel about me manually picking up bales. I'm okay at it. And it's funny because I have a wheel now. For the longest time I didn't, but I have a wheel now, and I always said I'm terrible at baling because I use a gamepad, but then I have my front loader functions on a flight stick, and I constantly have to take my hand off the gamepad to operate the flight stick. Well, if you've got a wheel, you just kind of throw the wheel around with one hand, and you operate the flight stick to control the front loader with the other hand. And particularly if you make one of your shifter paddles, your forward and reverse shuttle, you can throw a tractor with a front loader around like a two-door Honda. It's beautiful. But even though I have a wheel now, I don't use it for farm sim, and there's various reasons for that. But bottom line, I'm still using gamepad and flight stick for farm sim and front loader, and that makes it kind of it's a lot of stop and go. And particularly because I have my flight stick on the right, and my right trigger is my accelerator, so every time I take my hand off to operate the flight stick, the vehicle stops. I can't hold the trigger now to accelerate. So really there's no smooth way to do it. It's really erratic, and it's just not too cool. I can manually stack bales, but I prefer to do it off camera because it's kind of slow, I have to say. So, but some people are into watching bale stacking. So if you are, let me know, and I'll stack these round bales manually. But I think today we're just going to, because they won't be fermented, I think today we'll just wrap them and drop them on the field. They can cook out here. Also, I could, or I guess it's better to say I should be raising my mowers when I make a turn, and I'm not. And the reason is I don't have a macro for lift all tools because I'm just out of space on the gamepad. Here I can. But as far as like lifting everything at the end of a row and then throwing it down again, pro style, no, I'm not able to do that. Gonna end up with the triangle. Anytime you're in an irregularly shaped field, it's like it doesn't matter what the irregular shape is, you will end up with a triangle. I don't know how it works out. So yeah, I'm going to do, to post on Tuesday, I'm going to do Maplewood and Herman's Eck. And then for Thursday, I'm going to do Maplewood and Lone Oak. Lone Oak, it's almost the end of the season. We've got everything harvested. We need to take some things over to sell at the grain sell point. I believe we've got some sunflower to sell. And then we're more or less done for the year. And I need to decide what I want to do in the spring, whether I want to buy animals or not. I'm really enjoying that map. I'm glad a big American map came out this close to the end of Farm Sim. Or Farm Sim 17, I should say. It's not the end of Farm Sim. Just the end of FS17. Oh, we've got even. There's a lot of grass on this map. I'm curious how many bales we're going to get out of this field. I'm going to say, because it's not been fertilized, I'm going to say 25. That sounds pretty conservative, I know. But I'm going to say 25 bales. We'll see. We'll see. I've been wrong before. How do I want to do this? I'm going to make the big 270 here. And it looks like I'm getting wicked overlap here, but I'm just trying to square this off a bit. Now, when I bring my rake in here, I typically like to rake lengths first, and then rake my headlands. So it cuts the ends of the lengths off, right, and sort of brings that row into the headland. So I may do that. Since I'm not going to rake the whole thing, I suppose it doesn't much matter. Maybe we'll just do, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get in here. This is a really irregularly shaped field. Not the end of the world, just might take a few seasons to figure out the best approach to it. Right. You know, it's funny, on that thread on FS UK for Maplewood, in one of the first posts, Lancyboi says he's making a micro mini-map. I said, I think, I know micro is in there somewhere. Yeah, it might be micro mini, but definitely micro something. And as I look around this map, I think, man, this isn't micro anything. This is a big map. Both in the size of, like the total size of the map, and also the size of the fields. Some good sized fields. Well, it doesn't look like it from the mini-map, but there really are. Alright, how are we doing on time? Doing alright. We'll do a couple of quick... you know what? We will do a headland with our rake. We'll do a headland or two, and then we'll go ahead and bail that up. Then we'll go pick those up. Not on camera, but we'll pick those up, get them off the field, and then we can do lengths and make turns and not worry about running over our own bales. If you're interested, looks like Cleveland forced a fumble and recovered, and now they are potentially kicking the game-winning field goal. Mike Tomlin looks very unhappy, but Mike Tomlin always looks very unhappy. Oh, the crowd's celebrating already. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it when you haven't won for almost 2 years. All right. And it's 21-21, so Steelers did put up some decent offense today, even without Bell. So threw it away on defense. They had a decent lead too. Threw it away on defense. Right. Let's focus up. Where do we want to put this? Let's put it right over here. We're driving on our row, I know. Let's put it right over here on this little piece of road. This way we're sort of teed up when we move to the next field, which is on the other side of field 51. There's actually several fields over there. Right. Back that up a little bit. Oh no. Cleveland misses their field goal. Wide left. I told you, do not celebrate too early. Laces out, Dan. Right, now we need our rake. I feel like I sort of parked myself in here. Wondering if I can get this thing turned around. Now I could, oh, yeah. I think it's a combination of textures, and I think I've got a hot mod, and I think it might be that loading wagon. I think it might be. Okay, let's do... I don't know if I can make a 180 here. But we'll certainly give it a try. Without running over my spelt. Oh! Oh, that is beautiful. No spelt died in the making of this episode. Steelers take over on downs. Keeping you posted. And we are just about at the end of the first overtime. All right, this big thing unfolded. Cruise control. There you go. Give her just a minute to get going. You know what? That's a decent windrow. We'll have to see how dense it is and what kind of volume we get out of it, but that's a pretty good looking windrow. Maybe we'll get, what did I say, 25? Maybe it'll be more than that. Maybe it'll be 35 bales. And I don't know, when you make a map, I don't know if you can adjust the density of meadow grass, or if it's fixed in the code somewhere. I mean, it's a fill type. You can always adjust the fill type, so curious. Now I'm even more curious. I wonder if Lancyboi made the grass dense, which means even though we weren't able to fertilize these fields, we actually are getting like the same volume that we'd get if we had fertilized it, which means that our cropgrass fields that we did fertilize will get even like a crazier yield from. Huh. Okay. We'll have to see. We'll also have to see how that baler works. I went with McHale because we're in the UK, so I was trying to keep it local, keep it real, yo. So we'll have to see. I tend to delete really buggy mods. So if I still have a mod in my mod folder, it generally means that it works okay, or I haven't tried it yet. But I know I tried that McHale, and it's still there, and that means I didn't delete it. So I don't know. I seem to remember something was not quite right about it. Something was not something. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. Find out momentarily. And yeah, man, this is a monster row we're making. I think we're going to get some decent bales. And what I'll do is, I'd like to put up, oh man, I should probably put up, because it's summer and these need to last for one full year. These need to last all the way till next summer, and actually a little bit beyond, because they're going to have to ferment for a few days as well. So it's like, as of today, they'll need to last for, well, a minimum of one calendar year. So I'd like to put up 72 silage bales and then 72 hay bales just for the cows, and then we'll need to put up hay bales for the sheep as well. Everything over that can go to the VGA, but we need to get ahead of ourselves. We're just rowing. We haven't even started to make a bale yet. But that would be the goal, ultimately, is to have a full year. I mean, we can buy food for the cows, and it's not terribly expensive, but it does become sort of a wash because it's like what you pay for it is about what you're getting back in milk. I think it's like 4,000 pounds for 2,000 liters of TMR. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see how our McHale baler does, for one thing. Ah, I think I remember what it was. It does not have a feature to turn on and off baling. And I think maybe it was trying to wrap hay bales instead of just dropping them. Okay, we'll find out in a minute. So, lift up, turn off, and fold up. Park this right over here without, move a little bit further away. Give our baler a little bit more room. Okay. So as we're separating out our equipment, I do want to look and see if anything seems to spike our frame rate. You know, looking right at this loading wagon, we're doing okay. No, we're really not. Okay. That could be the culprit. Yeah, our frame rate doubles when we look away from that thing. Okay. And I noticed the same thing in the yard when we had it parked in there. Oh, that'd be a shame. It's a nice mod. Okay. Same thing. Can we make a 360 here? No, we absolutely cannot. You know, there's a little wide spot in the road up here. Hopefully we can, yeah, we'll flip around right here. Beautiful. Right, and that is wheat right there that's growing, and we've got canola behind us, and millet and spelt, or rye and spelt. We've got a couple things on our right as well. So, step one, we unfold. Okay, so we're ready to go there. Set the cruise control. Let's say 6 miles per hour. Right? Drop the pickup. Here we go. I'm going to slow down as this thing gets full, just till we see what the outcome is. Is there some intervention required from us? Unload baler. Well, does that unload to... Okay, that unloads to the wrapper. Now, do we then need to unload again? Let us see. I suppose I could be rolling while this goes on. No, I can't. That's the, I don't want to call it a bug, but that's the That's the rub with this thing. So let's see, can we close it so we can continue rolling as it's wrapping? Yeah, let's try that. That's the, yep, that's the issue with this thing. I knew there was something. So, unload. Nope. Cannot close that. Or can we? No. I'm not seeing... Nope. I'm not seeing a way to do that. Okay. That's what the... That's the rub. How are we doing on time? 36 minutes. Okay. Let's call it an episode. We'll do... let's go to the seawall, and then we'll call it an episode. I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know if real bailers require you to stop like that. So I don't know if that's something realistic the mod maker put in, or if that's just how it worked out. So we've got choices. We can get, we've got straw harvest installed, so we can use the one of the big Krona from the straw harvest. We've got the Krona Ultimate. We can use that if we want to. We've got McHale bale wrappers, both trailed and drawbar. We've got a lot of options as far as getting this stuff baled. So we'll figure something out. I don't know if this will give us any kind of an idea. We might get 36 bales. We might. That'd be perfect. Because if we get 36 now and 36 from second cut, then that's our 72, and that means that all of our other fields can go to the VGA. Okay. Okay. So this is, I'd say this is the seawall. So let's drop this one and then we'll call it an episode. There you go. Beautiful. Close that. Lift the pickup, turn it off. Set the brake. There it is. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017 from Maplewood. We'll see you next time. Take care now.